What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you a 3 looks 1 palette. And for today's 3 looks 1 palette, I'm going to be using the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. Recently, earlier this month, late last month, I can't even remember now, I posted a first impressions, and that first impressions did really good, which I don't know if that's because it was a really quick video up or if you guys are just really interested. So I am going to go ahead and do a 3 looks 1 palette. I hope you guys are excited as much as I am. This is look number 1, and I will be giving you guys kind of my full on thoughts and everything at the very end of this video. If you do want to see swatches, I'm not going to re-swatch them because I feel like the swatches in my first video were good, so I will have my first impressions down below. With that being said, if you are interested in seeing how I created 3 different looks, or if you're interested in knowing any of the base products, just tap down below. I'm pretty much going to have the same base products the whole video, maybe 1 or 2 tweaks, but pretty much everything is going to be listed down below regardless. So if you're interested in seeing the 3 looks I create for this palette, excluding the look that I already did in my first impressions, then just keep watching. Hey guys, so I am here to do my first look, and I am going to go ahead and keep using my Nomad Cosmetics primer. I've actually been enjoying this primer, and you guys will see this primer makes a difference, specifically with this palette. My first impressions, I used my NYX glitter glue as a primer, and I was not happy with the pigmentation and all of that of some of the shades in the different tones that I saw on my eye. But I have been using this palette off camera, and I have noticed that it works a lot better, at least on my complexion, when it comes to this Nomad Cosmetics primer. And I think that's just because it's not necessarily as sticky, it's a little bit more forgiving of a primer, but also the primer has a white-ish base, so it gives it a little bit more ability to kind of stick out compared to my other base that I was using. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hop into the look, and I am going to hopefully find some brushes that'll work. A lot of my brushes are currently need in the wash, so we'll see how this goes. I'm just gonna go into one of these $1 e.l.f. brushes. I think this is $1, I don't know, and I'm gonna go into the shade Ridge, which is the, oops, let's try this again. I'm gonna go into the shade Ridge, which is the caramely shade. This was one of the shades that I really wanted to work the best, because I love like a caramel mustard mac and cheese-ish shade. And as you can see, it's really working out really well. And I'm just taking the time to just really put this in my transition area. All right, so I think that's nice and built up and just really pretty. Maybe I should zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so now you guys see even closer what's going on with my whole situation. Why my eyes look so bright, I don't know. I think it's, hold on. There we go. Every time. Okay, so now you guys can see really what's going on. This caramel shade looks really pretty. I love this shade. Love it. Okay, I'm gonna try and get past that. Now I'm going to pick up a pencil brush, but it's like a really blendable one. This happens to be from Sonia Kashuk, and I am gonna go into the shade Wow, what did I just say? I'm gonna go into the shade Suntan. It's the lighter of the two browns mattes in this palette. And I'm just gonna take this in my outer V and in my crease just to deepen everything up. And as you can see, it's working beautifully at just deepening up this area. And I can really see a beautiful contrast between the two shades on my eye, which of course I'm happy about. Now what I'm going to do is just go back into that original brush and just blend out my edges slightly. All right. I'm really happy with this. So today's look is going to be pretty chill, a little basic, and I'm okay with that. Now what I'm gonna do is just take a lid brush and I am going to add just a little bit of NYX glitter glue just so that the shades can really pop. I've been so used to using NYX glitter glue that I just don't want to be disappointed, but like a lot of people, NYX glitter glue is just, it's awesome. Yeah, I'm not really pressed about how I'm laying this down. I don't want this to be a cut crease look. I just want it to kind of flow, which is why I'm using my finger. If I wanted it to be more of a cut crease, then I would have used my brush. All right, I think I've laid that down nicely. Now for my lid shade. I think today I'm gonna go into True Bronze. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go into True Bronze, which is clearly too light for this camera to not freak out about, but it is, as the name suggests, a bronze shade. And with this shade, it is a bit hard to pick up in pan, so I'm kind of chunking off the shadow out of the pan, which is why I'm taking the time to really press it on, because I don't want any fallout from any of the chunks that don't originally catch on this glitter primer. All right, so I think that is good. What I'm gonna do is just do my lower lash line really quickly, which is just going to be the same two shades that I have in my crease on my lower lash. So I'm gonna start off with Sutton. Wow, why do I keep saying that? Suntan. Okay, and then I'm just going to blend that out with Ridge and connect, of course, to the upper lash line. Alrighty, and then for inner corner highlight, I'm going to take another pencil brush that's even stiffer, and I am going to go into the shade Palladium, which is this shade. It's more of a bronzy undercover shade. And it's just going to lighten up that area just a little bit more. Do I like that? No, I don't. I'm going to go over that with Bliss, which is like a more of a pinky-ish shade. There we go. And this is also a duochrome as well. Alrighty. So all I need to do now is just hop off camera, do all of my liner, my mascara, all of that jazz. I will zoom out so you guys can see the finished look. Alrighty, y'all, so this is the finished look. And this is look number 1. I feel like it did a really good job, obviously, of really just brightening up my eye. I can't tell if on camera you guys can really still see the distinctiveness between the two browns in my crease, but I really can still see it. I'm still enjoying it. I like that I did kind of a blurred out kohl liner on my line up top and in my bottom. I'm just enjoying this whole look right now. I will be coming back with some more looks. I'll be using a variety of all the colors. And of course, I will always have things linked down below. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing look number 2, then just keep watching. Hey guys, so I'm here to do my second look for this video. And I am just gonna quickly prime with my Nomad Cosmetics primer. Now, if I remember, my look that I created, I used the more mustardy shade, and I think today I'm gonna try and recreate from memory another crease that's slightly different. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the shade Sundown, which is a lot peachier of a shade, and this is kind of the peachiest crease color that is in this palette. And I'm just gonna go ahead and really just lather this right on in my transition area. And today it seems like I'm just having my transition area end at my brow, but it's okay. I can always kind of erase that because there is a shade in this palette that is pretty much my skin tone. So we can always work with that a little bit later if need be. And if you're wondering, this is a Chico Hodo brush, blending brush. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but this is a really good blending brush. It is the GSN 10. Okay, so now I have that shade really nicely blown out. There we go. So now I have that shade really nicely kind of lathered in my transition area. I'm just going to take the same brush. I'm going to slightly clean it off in my color switch. And I am going to go into the shade Magma. Magma is the darkest brown in this palette. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this. And this is going to be my real crease color. And we're just going to work on blending between those two shades. And as you can see, it's really just blended itself. It's done a really, really good job at just doing the work honestly for me. Now what I want to do is use a smaller blending brush. I'm just going to go into this MAC 217 synthetic brush, and I'm going to go into Deep Dive, which is the cream to powder shade. It's like a really dark brown. I honestly consider it kind of a black, but it is truly a dark brown. And I am just going to work this in my outer V. And this is a really nice shade. I haven't had a Natasha Denona that had this formula. I know the first palette was the Metropolis and people were like, what is this? I don't understand. This is a really nice formula, like impeccable formula. It doesn't pick up the powder that's under, and it blends basically like a powder. So I really enjoy this formula, and honestly I just think that this shade for me really made this palette, because without it I wouldn't have been able to get as much depth as I typically like to get in my outer V. So I'm very happy that this shade in particular was in this palette. But we're just gonna keep kind of blending, making sure that everything is to my particular preference, if you will. And I think we're basically there now. I'm really happy with this. Okay, now I'm gonna take a flat brush, and this happens to be a Sigma E55. And I'm just going to do my lower lash line really quickly. So I'm going to go into Deep Dive, and that's going to go right under my lower lash line. Then I'm just going to take my Chikuhodo brush again, and I'm going to do a combination of Sundown and Magma, which were my two other crease shades, and just blend her out. All right, I really like this crease work. I think we're doing a good job. Okay, so now I think I got some shadow in my eyeball. Well, that's fun. That's not what I wanted to do next. Next, it is time to do my lid shade, and this is a very warm crease. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to cut my lid today. I'm going to cut it, really make sure it's nice and blown out. I will come back after it's cut, and we are going to use some of these cool, colorful shimmers that I did display during my first impression, but I just kind of want to show them to their true and full potential now. Alrighty, so I have now cut my lid. I did go ahead and just do that with my NYX glitter glue in case you are wondering. Now what I'm gonna do is take the brush that I had Deep Dive on, and I'm gonna try without any, well, no, I'm gonna add just a little bit of product and just blend that outer edge of my cut crease lid with that deepest shade, just so that my lid shade really blends in with my outer V. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is go into the shade High Degree, which is the most true red shade in this palette. I am going to go ahead and pick it up on the same side that I had my NYX glitter glue, and I'm just going to pack her on my lid. And then I'm just gonna keep kind of applying that, and we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other eye. Okay, what I'm gonna do is just take that same brush with Deep Dive and just blend again just so that there's no harsh edges on this part of my look. I think that looks good. There might be a little bit of holing situation right there. All right, I think that looks really good. Okay, now we need to do my inner corner highlight, and I'm just gonna take a smaller flat brush, and what I'm gonna do is go into, I have two shade options. My camera does not want to show you. I'm gonna go into, I don't think I've shown it, so let me go into Gleaming, which is the kind of medium red shade in this palette, and we're gonna put that in my inner corner. Yep, I think that looks really good. I think that looks good. So now what I want to do is just hop off camera really quickly. I need to do my waterline. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put this red from Linda Hallberg, which is her Angry Mood, her pencil, it's her gel crayon, her crayon in Anger Mood. I'm gonna do mascara, and I might deepen out my lower lash line a little bit more because I want a little bit more dimension there, but I will do that off camera. I'll tell you guys what I'm doing. I also need to figure out what I'm going to put on my cheeks for blush highlighter and what I'm going to put on my lips, and then I will come back to show you guys the finished look. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. I am really happy how this look came out. So just to kind of wrap up general things that I added, I used my mascara that I've been using lately, which is the Maybelline Total Temptation. I used two different eyeliners. I used one which is from, I think this is from Maybelline as well. Yeah, this is the Master Precise Skinny, and this is in Sharp Brown. I used that on my actual lower lash line and then a little bit of tight lining, and then in my waterline I used the Angry Mood crayon from Linda Hallberg. On my cheeks I used my Laura Geller Baked Gelée blush in Papaya. I used my Blushlighter from Beauty Bakerie on top of that, and then on my lips I have Eunique Beauty's liquid lipstick in Hazel. So that is the gist of my face. I really enjoy this look. I love that the red really is popping on this look, and I'm just very happy. So if you're interested in seeing look number 2, no, this is look number 2. If you're interested in seeing look number 3, then let's just get into it. Hey guys, so I'm here to do my third and final look for my 3 Looks 1 palette when it comes to the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. If you can see my mouth, I did just come back from the dentist, so it's a little twisted, but it's gonna be all good. So I decided I wanted to do kind of more of a Natasha Denona kind of themed look, if you will. And you know how she really, from what I can tell, barely uses matte. She uses like 1 or 2 mattes in her crease, but mainly it's all about the shimmer and it's being blended out seamlessly into the skin. So I decided to do that today, and what I'm gonna do is take my NYX glitter glue. I'm gonna take pretty much the same normal amount that I would use to prime my whole lid, and what I'm actually gonna do is carve out my eye. So I'm gonna go straight into the crease and just literally carve out my eye. That's it. I'm gonna carve out my eye, and then I'm gonna fill in my lid, all with this primer. And I'm gonna try and have it as rounded as possible. Okay. And what I'm gonna do next is just go straight into the shade Rhodium, which is the purple shimmer in this palette, and I'm gonna pack her right on to the exact placement of that glitter glue. And so it looks pretty harsh, but we are going to blend it out. Do not worry. But while I have this brush, I'm just gonna actually use the tip and I'm gonna apply this right under my lower lash line. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is I'm going to take a really small blending brush. This one happens to be from Morphe. It is the M562. And I'm going to go into Suntan, which is pretty much my skin tone shade. Like, it's a really good transition color for me. And I am going to begin to lightly blend out the tip of the top of this cut crease shade, Rodeo. I do just end up kind of just blowing this all throughout my crease just so that my whole crease is, has a matte shade on it. But the real beauty is because this shade, Suntan, is so close to my skin, it looks like I just blend this out beautifully. And in reality, I didn't really. And then I'm just going to do the exact same thing on my lower lash line. Super, super easy. Then I'm just going to take a pencil brush and I'm going to go into the shade Alloy. And this is going to be my inner corner highlight. And I'm just going to take the time to really just blend this with both my lower lash line and up top. And that's the finished look. Super easy look, but I feel like this is kind of a really Natasha Denona inspired look, if you will. I am just going to hop off camera really quickly and do my aligners and mascara. And then I will come back to give you guys my final thoughts when it comes to this palette. And yeah, I will be right back. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. And I really enjoy how I was able to kind of, I feel, sort of do like a homage and emulate that. I was kind of able to emulate Natasha Denona's looks. I'm not as good, but I was able to emulate it. If you're wondering what's in my waterline, I just went ahead and used my yellow Happy Mood crayon from Hallberg just to kind of bring some color to this look. Obviously, I put a purple on my lid, but it still felt like there wasn't enough color. So that is that. Overall, final thoughts when it comes to this palette. I am so happy that I bought this palette. I believe that your eye primer is really going to be important when it comes to this because, like I said prior, when I was using the glitter primer, when it came to the mattes and the glitter primer, I felt like the matches were not really picking up on my skin tone. They weren't really doing what they could do. But when I used my Nomad Cosmetics primer, which I would say is honestly comparable to the Urban Decay primer, the mattes were doing their thing. Okay, I also really enjoyed this cream to powder formula. First palette that I've had from Natasha Denona that has had that formula, and I've enjoyed it. The metallics are all really good. There are definitely differences between all of the metallic and shimmer shades, so do keep that in mind. But overall, I'm very happy. I think the only color that I just really am probably never going to use is this beach shade. It's light, okay? It's pretty light, and I just don't have a purpose. Maybe if I'm trying to do like a matte lid, I would use that, or maybe like a matte inner corner. But other than that, I just won't have a reason to use that shade. Overall, I am very happy I have this palette. You have a really nice orangey shade, some nice bronzes, some nice reds, pinky shades, and then you have a really nice purple metallic. I enjoy it. I can't wait to see what more comes out in this range from her. I thought I was gonna get the Love palette, but now that I've seen more videos, it has more reds than I want. I want like a really nice deep maroon palette. That's the next palette that I really think I'm gonna try and go after. But I'm very happy with this palette, very happy with my purchase. I would recommend it. And that's pretty much all I've got to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this 3 looks 1 palette and review, and definitely comment down below if you're going to be getting this palette, if you liked my looks, which look you liked the best, all of those things under the sun. I will also always have my first impression link down below, all of my nail polish colors, and all of the rest of my base products, because I typically just don't tell you guys because I forget. But as always, wow. Oh my gosh, my mouth is killing me. But as